Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Endz, hosted by Taze and myself, it's Yan City, Yannicka, whatever you know me by. Before we get on to today's show, which is going to be a kind of mid-season review, talk about Man City. Before we get onto it, we just wanted to address something that happened yesterday on a stream. A lot of you in the YouTube world will know a Prime, who is a friend of mine, and I think he knows Taze as well. But we just like to address what happened, and racism is something that isn't seeming to go away, and this year we've seen it resurface as usual.
Untold.
There's been some disgusting comments said by people on a stream. Well, one person on a stream yesterday. There's also been a lot of abuse aimed at Martial and Rashford and Tuanzebe. There's been quite a few players that have received a lot of racial abuse. I think at Chelsea as well, one of their players was targeted as well. So, yeah, we just wanted to touch on it because it can't be tolerated. And if you see it, people need to stand up and call it out. Like, you can't just kind of being silent is being complicit. And we just wanted to touch on that. And like, obviously, if I ever hear it myself, I'm calling it out.
And if I do, then it's gonna be peak. I mean, Rashford. I mean, the guy who's been feeding people's kids over the summer. As I saw the tweet from you earlier, for a draw over a match, there ain't no space for it on the internet, no space for it in the world, and definitely no space for it in the sport that we love. That's meant to bring us all together. So anyone doing that, if you're retweeting the hate as well, I'm seeing retweets and LOLs. Just know straight, that ain't cool. And obviously, you got a problem with us addressing it. Feel free to talk to me. You can fly. I don't mind. Then it's cool. Like, but I felt it's something definitely that we had to address because it's definitely just not cool, and there's no space for that.
Yeah.
That being said,
we're going to introduce Prime. Anyway, back. You know that. You already know that.
He knows that already. Come on.
Today's show, we're just going to do a review of the season so far. Everyone that's tuned in, like the video, share around your socials and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're just going to add some of our guests in. So today we've got Hitty, who is a Man City fan. So I'm not on my own this time.
Hitty from City.
So we've also got Michael, who's an United fan. We got to him. And we've got Riz, who is a Liverpool fan. And we've also got Steve, who is an Arsenal fan. So big up to you guys. The first thing that we were going to discuss today is our Man City. Are we going to win the title? So I'll come to you first, Hitty, because obviously you're a City fan.
Can I just say, sorry to interrupt, but I know usually you know who I used to watching Yan. I know you're used to seeing her with a big beautiful smile anyway, but I think you lot noticed the smile is particularly big this week. I've seen her. For the space of this week, I have seen her just literally terrorizing United fans, rival fans on the timeline. One of her fans in particular, I've seen her quoting these tweets every night and saying good night to everyone whose team is like, you've been on some serious smoke this week, innit? But yeah, this is you lot tweet to shine. City back to their best. Well, are they title favourites? I'll hand it over to you. Let's go. You're the expert.
You know what? It's too early. And the reason why I say that, obviously not in the season it's too early, but in terms of the points gap, like realistically, we can be 6 points ahead. But if you look at our next, 7 fixtures, like 6 of them are against the top 10. We haven't got KDB. Obviously, he's a big miss. So anything can happen. We've got Liverpool coming up, and then we've got Tottenham coming up, and then Arsenal. So that's 3 big games. So I wouldn't say that we are title favourites yet.
Wait, sorry. Against us is a big game against Tottenham.
Say that again.
Would you say against Tottenham is a big game? How we are right now?
Has to be a big game.
You
You got one over us, innit? So it is what it is. You know.
Wow.
But
You know what,
like I
though?
said,
Do you know what? I agree with what he's saying, because the thing is, like, I'm smiling now because not because of where we are in the league, because I think technically there is a long way to go this season. This season is very unpredictable.
very,
I don't know if that's my mic making that noise. Let me just mute it. No, it's not mine. I don't mute the mic. It is like crackly. But yeah, I think like the thing is, like, we have what I've seen so far. We have a clear plan. Our defense is a lot better than it has been for years. Our attack is always quality. Midfield's always quality. So I think City are sort of the full package. That's why I'm happy. But points wise, we're not running away with anything. Like, there isn't that much. There isn't that many points between us. And anything can happen. This season's been really strange. It's like,
sorry, you know what? That sound is mad.
Yeah, that sounds. I think someone's mic.
You know what?
if everyone mute it and then not mute it.
Yeah, let me mute my mic.
I am muted, so it ain't me.
I just muted it, right, me.
Yeah, but it's come back now.
Wait, everyone but Taze mute their mic.
Yeah,
So Riz
what's good?
mute, Taze mute.
So, yeah.
It's
I've unmuted. So it's not my mic,
Yeah,
or is it?
it might be. Guys, we'll just have to talk up if anything. Just speak up because time is of the essence.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it seems to have gone a little bit, but then it comes back. It's strange. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of them things. There's a long way to go till the end of the season, and obviously we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, it's not done. People have been messaging me saying, "Oh, City have won the title already. Congrats," and stuff like that. It's a load of rubbish. Like, I think it's to put pressure on City.
I think you're playing it down a bit. I saw Guardiola as well playing it down, saying he doesn't listen to the media, which there might be a bit of truth to. But at the same time, you lot are in a very strong position. So you lot to deny that, I think you're playing it down a bit. I'm looking at that table. I'm seeing how many points you've got, a game in hand, that if you win that, you're further ahead. Even with Liverpool just doing their thing, I think it'd be a lot. It is playing down to say that you lot are not favourites, especially the way you're playing. It's hard to see where you lot are going to drop some sort of points.
Sorry, I'm just gonna mute my mic every time that I'm not talking in it, just so it's quiet.
Yeah, it's hard to see you dropping points.
Do you know what? Like, I agree. I think we look good, but this season's just been crazy. Like, anything can happen. Like, we struggled more against Sheffield than we struggled against some of the bigger sides. So I know in the past couple of times that we played them, we don't create as many chances against Sheffield, and that's why it was a low scoring game. But yeah, it could have been on another season without Ruben Diaz, that would have been a draw. So it's like games like that. I don't think Ruben Diaz is going to be able to defend everything. Like, I know he's kept quite a lot of clean sheets, but it's not going to happen all season. So games like that, we need to score more. We need to take our chances. We didn't create too much, to be honest, which is rare for City. We didn't create too much. So we'll see what happens, but I think it is a bit early. I'd like to think we can win it now because we're in a good position, but it is early days. I think Liverpool will still be the team challenging us. I think they're the closest to us, even though Man United are there. I do feel like at the end, if it is us, it'll be us and Liverpool. But that's just what I think. But yeah, what do you guys think that don't support City? So we'll start with whoever.
No, I was listening to the post match today with Mo Salah, and he made a great point in regards to, I think, like I said last week, in regards to the season started last week, innit? In regards to everyone from this point here, it's a straight shootout. So, I mean, City have put themselves in pole position. Um, I don't know too many teams that can go and spend 150 million and add the amount of quality in terms of depth of squad who are an already illustrious double winning title side, so to speak. So I feel they've got what they paid for in regards to being able to compete on all four fronts. Adding the quality and depth to come in. For instance, you've got Ruben Diaz who's coming in, obviously solidified the backline. You lot have conceded the least amount of goals this season, which for a Pep side is pretty impressive. Bearing in mind, like defensive structure isn't something that we've seen him build his success off in the past. I feel it's kind of interesting because you've had injuries, and I feel that this season we've seen him have to adapt the style of the style slightly in regards to not necessarily having a number 9 that can actually be relied on week in, week out to get the goals.
They don't look like they've needed one, to be honest.
To be fair, they've done well. Like quietly underneath, with the game in hand, I thought you lot always was going to sneak back in the picture, even when we did go top just before Christmas. But with the attacking talent that you've got, I mean, it's up there with Europe's best in regards to De Bruyne, Sterling. You've got Bernardo Silva that can come in. You've got Mahrez that can come in. So, yeah, more of the same, really. I don't expect them to drop too much points between now and the end of the season, if I'm being honest. Although
as a Liverpool fan, are you still confident? Pardon?
Next Sunday would be a great time for them to decide that they don't want to show up.
Do you know what? It's Anfield, isn't it? Anfield is not the place for City, but I'm hoping that this year, because it's so weird, we'll get a weird result at Anfield, which will be a win.
It's the same when we win there.
Never win there. 2000, what was it? 2004? Something like that. It's some mad amount of time. Nicholas Anelka scored the winner at Anfield last time. That says it all.
That's all 4.
Jan and Hitty, let me ask you something. Mr. Ilkay Gundogan or Mr. Zinedine Gundogan, which is the agenda that Jan has been pushing online lately. I think it's a great compliment for you to be putting him in the same bracket as Mr. Zidane. That's a big name to live up to. But yeah, Mr. Gundogan, what's going on with him? Because I mean, you always heard, he was a decent player, but the last few matches he hasn't been a decent player. This guy's been scoring like I said, like you lot needed that number 9, and he's stepped up for you lot. I mean, I knew Foden. I remember I spoke to you and I said when De Bruyne was injured and like a lot of people were celebrating, rival fans, United fans especially, I saw was literally celebrating De Bruyne getting injured, and I said, you know what? I think Foden personally is going to step up, and I think he has. But I think with the help of, like I said, this guy here who's been popping up like he's a prime Aguero lately, to be scoring goals.
You know what? What I will say is Gundogan's always been a decent player. He just kind of went under the radar but he's a big game player. Like if you look at the goals that Gundogan scored, it's nearly always against the top 6 or in the Champions League. He doesn't stat pat across the bottom of the league. Like he doesn't do that. He scores in the big games when you really need him. A lot of people didn't really rate Gundogan because he's a little bit slow. He's not the fastest player. And
people, I won't try to use him.
Defensively, sometimes, like if he's a bit slow, it's not what you kind of need in the midfield. But saying that, he's always been a solid player, and obviously this season he's been allowed to get forward a lot more. So his play is a lot more attacking, and that's why we're seeing a lot more goals and stuff from him. But yeah, Gundogan has stepped up. He got COVID, came back as some superhero. Who knew? You know, Gundogan was one of our best players this season. I wouldn't have said it as much as I rate Gundogan. I wouldn't have thought he was one of the best players in our team this year. If you asked me at the start of the season, But I think in terms of De Bruyne being out, last time he was out, all the players stepped up, and it looks like they're kind of doing the same, which is nice to see. People like Bernardo Silva definitely stepped up last time, and it looks like he's doing the same this time. Foden is a fantastic talent, regardless. Do you know what I mean? I think he's just brilliant. But with De Bruyne, the way I see it is when De Bruyne plays, because he is the best player in our team, because he is, everyone kind of looks for him. So as an opposition team, if you stop De Bruyne, I'm not saying you're going to stop City because we've always got other avenues, people on the wing that can come in or whatever. And we've always got our wing backs that go forward. But if you stop De Bruyne, you stop quite a bit of City's attacking threat.
Cut off the supply.
When De Bruyne's not there, you don't know who they're going to pass to. Say Rodri's got the ball in the midfield or Fernandinho. He could pass to Mahrez. He could pass to Sterling. He could pass to Gundogan. Like, you don't necessarily know. Whereas when De Bruyne's on the pitch, people kind of know that more than likely he's going to go to De Bruyne. So they'll try and block that pass. Do you know what I mean? So
just touching on, sorry to interrupt you, Jan. Just touching on Mahrez. City, Hitty. Do you believe he's good enough? Have we lost him? Yeah. Well, I'll ask you in terms of for City, do you believe he's good enough, Jan?
I can't unmute his back yesterday. Do you know what it is? Like with Mahrez, I think he's a fantastic player. I just always feel that it's not worked out too well at City. I don't know if that's because he's kind of come from a team where he's one of the main men. And then he's kind of come to City and it's like he's not one of the main men. Like he's still a quality player, but it's kind of like we don't play to his strengths, I don't think. So even though he's still a good player, he's still going to get goals. He's still going to do what he's doing. I just think we don't particularly play to his strengths. Like people always say, anyone can score in Man City's team, which I can't agree with because some of the balls that De Bruyne puts in, like you literally just have to breathe on it and it's in the net. So I understand when people say that, but I just think with Mahrez, he's not. We haven't seen the best of Mahrez at City, even though we've seen moments of brilliance because he is a fantastic player. I think his first touch is unreal. The way he brings the ball down from like a ball over the top, unreal. Yeah. But I just think because of the way we play, it doesn't benefit him as much as maybe some of our other players. And I don't know for him because some games he's really good and he'll score a hat-trick and he looks brilliant and he controls the game. And then other times he looks out of place and it looks like I don't really know what he's doing. Against Cheltenham, he shot, which was a bit of a worry. So I don't know. I don't know.
We're gonna go to Michael. Michael, yeah, you would now Michael. Now Jan's laughing already, and she knows why. Because Michael, in the first week you joined us on kickoff week, you were very, very, very confident. That's putting it nicely in terms of United winning the title. Yeah, you're gonna brush all the opponents. What's it looking like? How's it looking in terms? I want you to be honest. I know this might be hard for you, but in terms of how your rivals are looking right now, what's it looking like to you?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say that my camera's moved up to the top now, so that's a good start. Kick out the other City fan. But coming back to football, I mean, yeah, obviously the last two games against Sheffield and Arsenal, it wasn't good enough, and it kind of showed some of our flaws in the team. So, yeah, obviously compared to when I was gassing them up 2 weeks ago, yeah, things haven't gone our way, but I still think we're in the race. I don't think we're out of the title race at all. Just like Liverpool, just like Leicester, I think we're still here to compete. And yeah, I mean, City are the favourites. I can't lie to you. As much as it pains me to say it, it's the truth. You know, they have the best midfield in the league, arguably, and they're on form. You know, those players that Yannick has mentioned. They've just got those players performing. And obviously, maybe if some of the complacency at United hadn't have settled in, we may have been able to beat Sheffield or Arsenal as well. Obviously, yesterday. So it is what it is, and you could say that City have basically bought their way to the top with all the money they spent on Ruben Diaz and their midfielders. But
we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get, and I see Yad is chomping at the bit. I'm gonna bring in T quickly.
I will say though, I'll give credit to Pep because it's not easy to bring in lots of outside players and weave them into one team. I mean, look at Chelsea, for example. They bought so many players during the summer, and Lampard wasn't able to kind of adapt his team to make it all happen. But credit where it's due. Pep has managed to do that, and well, they're top of the table for a reason. So there you go.
T.
No, I was just going to say before you bring T in, I was just going to say, in terms of that, like for me, money is a big part. I'm not going to pretend City haven't spent loads of money. We've spent a hell of a lot of money. But the reason why we spent so much money is so we can compete in all competitions, which is what we try and do every season. But yeah, we're not the only team, like you said, we're not the only team that have. So with City, it's like we spent the money, but I think especially recently, our recruitment has been one of the best. Because if you think about the players that we brought in, people like Ferran Torres was quite cheap. It was like 20 million. He's come in, he looks great. Also, who I will mention is Douglas from Brazil. He was from some random team in Brazil, Douglas Luiz. And he's come in. Obviously, he couldn't play for City because he couldn't get a permit. But he's gone to Aston Villa. And he looked really, really, really good. Is that my camera? Sounds like it. I don't know. But yeah, he looks really, really good for Villa. So I think things like that, it just shows the recruitment is quite good at City. But yeah, but T, you can go to T now. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no, what I was gonna say is T, from your perspective, City, favourites, back to their best?
I don't think they're back to their best, but it's undeniable to say that they're not the favourites right now, considering how the league's going. Obviously, out, and in my opinion, I thought that would be a big miss, but they seem to be, as Jan was saying, they're all kind of chipping in and rallying around each other and whatnot. Jesus has finally got a goal. I mean, he's no Aguero, but if your striker's scoring, it helps. Gundogan, he's moving like Yaya Toure. Like he's just in and amongst it. And I rate him as a player, but even me, I didn't think he was doing what he was going to be able to do what he's doing now, if I'm honest with you. But he's really a force. Foden's obviously coming through, which is really good. They're not conceding, which, like, obviously is basic football. If you don't concede, then chances are you're going to win the game. We need to have one goal to win the game. Liverpool, I think they're still about there, to be honest with you. As much as they had a dip in form and whatnot, you can't count them out. But I think City are the favourites as we speak right now. Liverpool's there. Man United, well, yesterday they should have took advantage. That if they'd won that game, they can say they're up there. But the fact that they didn't win that game.
Sorry,
Arsenal,
bro, just to cut you. Is it only my camera that's cutting in and that, and the audio?
Yeah, everyone else is fine.
Yeah, I can't hear.
Yeah,
do you know if you put earphones in, it stops all that crackling, I think. I think that's what it says. I don't know who.
You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to switch over to my laptop because I'm having a hard time hearing anything.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, so as I was saying, United should have really took advantage yesterday because I thought, I was looking at the game and I saw no Saka, no Aubameyang, and I thought, oh shit, here we go again. Typical. And to be fair, them had a couple chances, but it was an even game. I don't think they outplayed us or we outplayed them, to be fair. So
I feel we should have won.
That was their chance to really.
Arsenal defended really well. Arsenal did defend really well against United. I will say that.
They could have won.
I actually think Arsenal were considering the team that you started with, I actually thought Arsenal were the better team. But United had the better.
Oh no, we definitely were.
United's chances were really, really good. But overall, Arsenal were, I would say, the better team.
I was a bit
Man
disappointed.
United dominated though. Like the end of the first half, Man United were on top. And I think start of the second, there was a period where Man United were on top, but I thought Arsenal looked quite good, to be honest. Just weren't clinical, but Man United weren't clinical either. So.
So I want to say I've noticed there was a slight shot fired by the Liverpool supporter and by the Man United supporter about checkbook FC money spent. Now, do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Me and Jan knows Jan wanted to strangle me a few times because I have made the odd comment regarding this. But then on the flip side, could we say if we look at the show we did last week? I mean, last week we did a show 250 million spent on Watts, and that was literally a couple hours before Lampard ended up getting fired. Is it safe to say then? Isn't it fair to say then that it just doesn't take just money for you to be able to buy a title? Because I mean, look how much money he spent, yet look at the shambles he managed to make. So, do you think maybe you need more than just money to be? You might need to also have a plan, which clearly Lampard did not have. I think it's a bit unfair that all the time you get people saying, yeah, it's sport title and yeah, it does help. And I think there's a few other factors as to why they're top. I mean, a few favourable / questionable offside decisions that's gone their way that I feel if it was one of our sides, it might not particularly have gone that way, but that's football, it happens. I mean, VAR is...
Yeah, that's much better. Sorry about that.
That is much better. So Hitty, we was just saying, obviously there was a few fly shots fired about money spent.
Yeah, I heard all of that. I couldn't comment on it. Basically, yeah, coming from United, that's rich. That's a madness because you lot have spent nearly 900 million since you've even challenged for the title, bro. To be honest, yeah, Pep has never bought the best players in the world. The only reason why we spent that much money is because that's our price tag. Do you understand? Like other teams won't pay the price that we have to pay. Most of the players that's come to our club, bro, they weren't on them levels before they came under Pep. You wouldn't consider them as
them.
You lot will spend Euro millions on defenders like Maguire, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? We haven't spent 80 million on a player before. We've never spent that much money.
Before we go any further, I just have one question, Hitty.
Yo.
Just one. How long have you been a Man City fan for?
Bro, I've long enough. What are you gonna do? You're gonna make a fake Hinge account for me or something? What you wanna know them deals?
Just clarify. What is long enough? What is long enough?
I'm confused.
Long before
you're from the Endz, bro.
But wait, how long have you lived in Liverpool for?
I've got family that support Liverpool. Like my whole family supports Liverpool. I want to know where did Man City of all the teams in the world?
How long have you lived in Liverpool for?
I don't. I've been to Anfield enough times.
Yeah, but how long have you lived in Liverpool?
You?
I've been to Manchester enough times.
Alright, cool. We'll leave it there. I just had one question.
Let me ask as well.
Wait.
I mean,
you're both glory hunters.
Huh?
I said long story short, you're both glory hunters then. Is that what we're saying there?
Don't do that because it weren't fashionable to be a Liverpool fan when I was like, you see how old this shirt is.
How come you're a glory hunter? We wasn't winning anything.
This is 2010, 2011 when it weren't glory. It weren't glory. There was no glory to hunt. I'm just asking Hitty how long he's been a City fan for. I don't think he heard me. We can move on
before the money came in. The money.
I don't think he was there before the money, but it's cool. We'll move on.
Well, I mean, like I said, we covered it last week when so much money spent, for example, with Chelsea, and it didn't become fruitful. Would it be fair enough to say, like he said, you need more than just money? I mean, certain players. I've heard before that Pep improves players.
That's been said for ages, though. That's always been said. Like City fans, in particular, have been arguing for ages that money alone doesn't win you titles. We could spend what we spent. Okay, fair enough. Some players are world class. So if you get a world class player, and say you get them in when they're world class. So say for example, a team in the league gets De Bruyne, they're going to improve De Bruyne. Like regardless of what else, like even if the manager is crap, like they're still gonna play well. But the thing that Pep does, like Hitty was saying, is he improves everyone. And the thing is, right, when I truly believe that is when I saw Sergio Aguero, who I thought couldn't improve. Like look at Aguero.
Just a quick question, Jan.
It's not even Aguero. Man, he played Delph at left back and got Delph into the England squad. What other manager can do that?
No one's ever going to dispute Pep's ability to squeeze the extra 5% out of a player. That's not in question. I mean, we saw what he did at Barcelona. We saw what he did at Bayern.
Yeah.
My thing is, do you think, in regards to him trying to slightly alter Kun Aguero's game, has made him even more susceptible to injuries?
Do you know what? I don't know because Aguero has always been kind of injury prone, even before Pep came in. I think it's age, and he got one knee injury, and that knee injury had like a knock-on effect. So now every time he plays, it swells, and then he gets injured again. So with Aguero, I don't think he's quite that. He's tried everything. He even went vegan to try and get fit, and it didn't work. So
you see how that went for Bellerin, though. I don't think that's the best.
I leave Hector. Leave him out.
Straight shots today, still.
No, leave them man out there, cuz.
I think he's done an amazing job at his time at City in regards to overhauling the squad. He's made them a lot fresher, a lot younger.
I agree.
Introduced a lot of new ideas. When he came to City, they played amazing football, but it wasn't necessarily a brand, innit? They were just a good attacking side that had good attacking players. Now you can kind of see how Sterling's very influential off the ball. Silva has obviously passed the back on KDB, and he is obviously the main creative influence. And even without him, they've got Foden there. Bernardo Silva can easily drop into those little pockets of space and create. But yeah, I'm still waiting.
Can I just change the topic slightly, just for now? I just want Big Taze's break-in reaction to this. Brighton have just scored 1-0 against Tottenham.
Oh, wow.
So I just want to hear Big Taze's reaction to that.
Who scored?
We love to see it.
I saw it already.
Trossard.
I saw it. I saw Trossard had scored from a while. I saw the. We're gonna get into it. We're doing mid-season. We still got mid-season review to do. We're gonna get into it.
Let's just hear.
Trossard, that was ages ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Are we? So moving on. Yeah. Do you want to move on quickly, please?
He's under pressure.
Yeah. So
it's just you.
Yeah. Do you want to move on?
Yeah. So
Move on.
obviously we've discussed it. We're going to do like a mid-season review at the moment. So we just want to know, like, for your team, obviously how your team have done so far. Obviously we've done predictions for where we're going to finish at the end of the season. But yeah, just how it's going so far, because I know like it's still very close. Even though City are top right now, it's still very close. Like, this is why I'm saying, like, I don't expect Liverpool to be behind us. You know what I mean? Like, and if they are behind, it will be very close. It's not going to be like 10 points clear at the top or anything like that. So, yeah, how do you think your team are doing so far? And I would say, who are your 3 standout players in your team? So I'll start with you, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start by like the whole team performance. It's been above expectations. You know, at the start of the season, when we had those losses early on, nobody would have predicted we'd be in the top 4, let alone first or second. So I think overall mid-season, I think we've surpassed expectations. For you stand-up performers, well, first of all, I've got to give it to Luke Shaw, number 1. he's just come, stride and length since he's joined the club. He's had a major injury, which has obviously affected his career quite heavily. And then he's kind of just made his way into Ollie's side. And this season, he's performing so well. And Alex Telles, he's a world-class defender, and he's keeping him out the team. So Luke Shaw, obviously, I'd say he's my number one performer so far this season. Two others, I'd say probably McTominay. McTominay's done really well in that midfield. I think he's kind of given other midfielders the license to go forward, such as like Pogba and Fred, and they've obviously created or helped create chances. But McTominay in that CDM position, he's really solidified that defence. So I'd say he's number two. And then number three, I've got to go with one of the attackers, I'm guessing. It's got to be Bruno. Bruno Fernandes, since we signed him last season, he's just been our star player. And although he's not been the number one player this season, I think he's still given the level of performance that's helped us win game after game after game and got us to second place so far. So I'd say, yeah, those are the players that I think have carried us so far. Mid-season, yeah, I said before, I think we've surpassed expectations. Whether we'll stay second, I mean, who knows? I'm obviously still going to say first up until the end of the season. But, I'm only I'm a dreamer after all. So I think we've done well. We've done really well.
Okay, so if you want to talk, I've muted everyone's mic, so if you want to talk, just unmute it. But yeah, I agree with you with Bruno. Bruno's single-handedly changed Man United. He is the reason why you are where you are. But I do think Pogba's been sick recently. Like Pogba, for me, is your best midfielder. And he's been really good. So I don't know, but I don't watch United like every week. I know Shaw's been good.
Sure, yeah, number one in my opinion.
Really
yeah.
Good. But yeah, I think, to be honest, squad-wise, it's not bizarre that you're where you are. Like, if you actually put all the teams out on paper, like not even Liverpool's team, like Liverpool's team right now on paper, and you put everyone's teams out, you probably would put Man United second or third. So I don't think it's crazy that you are where you are based on the squad that you have. But I think with the manager that you've got, it is. You have overachieved in a way. So
oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
That's very generous. That's very generous.
Well, since you have so much to say, would you like to go next?
I'm gonna go next. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. There's no other team in the top four that can say that they've suffered what we suffered and still be in the title race.
Yeah.
Is a testament to the collective spirit and winning mentality that Klopp and his staff have been able to install. In terms of players of the season, for me, I would probably say Robertson's been our most consistent player alongside Gini Wijnaldum, and then the difference maker in a lot of the games has been Mo Salah. So I'll go with those three, but I do want to give a shout out to Fabinho because he's dropped into centre back and has looked like one of the best centre backs in the Premier League. But yeah, realistically speaking, if we win on Sunday, we go 1 point behind City. They still obviously have that game in hand, but I feel that win will kind of cancel out that game in hand, essentially. So to say after 21, 22 games, having no fit senior centre-backs at the club, Thiago has only started the last 4 Premier League games. Our main summer signing would have been out for approaching 3 months. I feel it's not a case of overachieve or underachieve. We just literally just taking each game as it comes from here on out. I don't really feel it would be fair to kind of judge this season like any of the others because there's been so many different factors to consider. No fans, no pre-season, which Klopp has kind of built our success off the back of. Like he's been synonymous with really grueling pre-seasons that have kind of set us up for the long haul. So without a pre-season or a proper pre-season, I feel that kind of affected our form. And like 2 seasons ago, we struggled in January, and the season before that we struggled in January, and then this season we struggled in January. So I feel it's no coincidence the fact that obviously we wasn't able to get those miles in during the pre-season. But on the whole, as a Liverpool fan, I feel you can't really look at this season and say we're underachieved. Yes, we are champions. Yes, we was in a position going into the new year where it looked like it was our league to lose. But with the quality generally in the top half of the table, anyone can take points off anybody. So it was literally always going to be to get to halfway, assess where we are from there, and then just literally, same as last season, take every game as it comes. And
Hey,
hopefully...
Riz, question, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Be honest, yeah, because last season you would have said he's one of your top performers, isn't it?
Not me personally, but go on, Land.
But on the whole,
he's one of the better right backs in Europe.
He's in every team of the season and all of that, yeah? Bro, what's he doing different now as to what he was doing last season for him to not get a shout? Because as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I have never really truly rated him as a defender.
That's fair.
I saw that when VVD was next to him. Now Virgil's out, bro. Now the smoke's cleared. He's been getting exposed for how long?
I'll be honest with you in regards to that.
Do you think that his level's dropped this season, or he's doing exactly what he's done, and Virgil van Dijk has cleared the smoke?
There's a number of factors. I will agree with you in regards to one-on-one. He's never been that great, but when you're playing in a team that is predicated off the fact that you're going to be 40 yards higher than a traditional right back is, and you can deliver with the quality that he does from wide areas, people are going to overlook the deficiencies in your game. What I will say is one of the major issues is we haven't tried to develop other areas of his game. So other than the fact that he has a terrific right foot, we've not tried to extend his overall ability on the ball. So for instance, you look at Kyle Walker. What Kyle Walker does that makes him terrific at the right back position is how well he can carry the ball into open spaces. Now, a lot of teams defend so narrow against Liverpool.
He gets him out of trouble.
Because no, that's a fact. But because Trent has such a terrific right foot, a lot of the times he's taking the earliest available opportunity to put in a cross into an area that doesn't, like, when you're forcing the cross rather than exploiting the space that's there, a lot of times you're ending up turning over. So for me, I feel that Klopp and the coaching staff need to kind of encourage him. And I see in the last 3 games he's been a bit more proficient in terms of, if it's not necessarily going down the line, coming off the line sometimes and allowing the winger to hold that wide position. In the one-on-one battles, I feel he's 22 years of age. So that's something that's only ever going to come with experience in regards to, like, you're playing against fast and pacey wingers 9 times out of 10, especially if you're out of position and having to recover, you're tracking back 30 yards, and not necessarily that you're going to be out because they're terrific in regards to their recoveries and their stamina. But if that's just not your best part of your game, like Wan-Bissaka is the complete opposite. Wan-Bissaka, once he crosses the halfway line, he's like a deer in headlights. But on the defensive end, he excels in one-on-one, engaging one-on-one with the wingers, isn't it? So it's just a toss-up, really, to be honest with you. But there is areas that he can improve, most definitely. And his form...
I just wanted to clear that up, that's all.
No, that's fine. His form is a direct... We've had 14 different centre-back pairings this season. So... Like, he doesn't know who he's playing with one side of the week to the next. So it's a bit like, bearing in mind he does struggle defensively as it is, when you're not playing with players that are regulars or there's no continuity, it creates further room for his game to obviously be affected in a negative aspect. But yeah, it is what it is, man.
I was hearing world class that. I wanted to clear that up. That's why I've been fighting against all these Trent Alexander-Arnold world-class fans. He's not world-class.
I think the one thing I will say about myself is I'm not one of those unrealistic fans that won't talk it how it needs to be talked, innit?
I can hear that. I can hear that. Yeah. Definitely hear that.
I think that's what happens though a lot of the time, because some fans overhype players. It means that opposition fans will then downplay their talent.
Mm-hmm.
So, say for example, City fans were another fan base. We might be saying, "Oh, Foden's world class." If you say Foden's world class, because he isn't world class yet, people will always say, "Oh, he's not that good." And it's not that he's not good; he's a good player. But because you've said he's world class, rather than people saying, "No, he's not world class; he's just good," people start saying, "No, he's not that good," and then start saying, "Oh, this person's better. This person's better." So I think that's what it is. So obviously not you, but obviously other Liverpool fans were kind of saying that, and that's why people are kind of like, "Well, he's not that good." But he's a good player. He's a good player.
He's definitely a good player. He's definitely a good player. But I just
also not take into consideration the fact he's not a natural right back either. He's a centre midfielder that's been moved to right back because that's where there was a space in the team for him. He's played youth football as a centre midfielder. So, yeah, take that into consideration as well.
Yeah. Because that happens a lot with players. It's like Zinchenko. Zinchenko is not a left back. He's doing well at left back, but he isn't a left back. Yeah, he's not a left back. So that's why his crosses, like Trent, are good, but then his defensive side is not always up to par, but that's because he's not a defender. He's kind of learnt that. So yeah, I think things like that you have to kind of take into consideration. But we'll go next to Hitty. Is it Hitty? I can't even say. Yeah. How do you think?
Top three performers in the team.
Yeah. And how you think City have done so far?
Obviously we had a dead start, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're getting back into form. I feel like our standout players have kind of got us out the woods. I don't think as a collective, our whole team are there yet in terms of like performing at that level. I feel like Ruben Diaz has got our back four out the woods. Like I said, back to Kyle Walker, he's still making those mistakes. And when he does make those mistakes, the difference is he's got the speed to rectify that. You know what I'm saying? But he's still making silly decisions. I just feel like Stones looks good with Diaz. I'd like to see him without Diaz because he still holds the ball too much and he does unnecessary passes across the defense line. So we've got probably 4 players that's got us out the woods and we're performing now. So now it's about the whole team developing as a whole, because last season or 2 seasons ago, Gundogan couldn't even get in the team. All of a sudden, he's our best midfielder. Now Kevin De Bruyne is gone. I was saying he wasn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? But maybe because we had Silva and KDB, I was comparing him to them subconsciously. But realistically, like, we need Gundogan now. Like, we rely on that guy, his creativity. Foden as well, I believe that we're kind of wasting him on the wings, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If it's working to have Fernandinho holding, then fair enough. But yeah, I just feel like our top 3 would be KDB, Gundogan, and I want to say Cancelo because I feel like
I was gonna say I think he's number 2 after Gundogan first. Well, Ruben Diaz has to be number 1. Then I'd probably say Gundogan and Cancelo are very close. I would say joint second for them 2, and number 1 would be Diaz. That's what I would say. Because like
if I could do a joint first, I'll do Cancelo and Diaz.
Yeah. Cancelo's real.
Amazing.
He is a real man.
Cancelo's been a top.
I've got a question for City fans. So both City fans. What do you think Sterling brings to the team? Like, can he carry that attack?
I think
where Aguero and Jesus have been absent. Did you hear the question?
With Raheem Sterling, he's a quality player. Like, I think he gets a little bit underrated because if you actually look at his stats, he's a decent. Like, his stats are decent, isn't it? I think with him, what happens with him is his clinicalness is not where it needs to be. I think he needs to improve in that area because he gets into the right positions, he makes the right runs, he does kind of everything right, but the final ball or the shot is not always what it needs to be. And I think that's where he sort of needs to improve. But if you watch Sterling and what he does in games and stuff, he is a brilliant player, and he does. There's a reason why Pep loves him, you know. Like, I think he's our most played player because Pep just always plays him. But I think the start of the season, we weren't clinical, full stop. It wasn't even a Sterling problem. It was the whole attacking. The whole of the attackers were struggling.
Even KDB was missing chances.
Yeah, everyone was. And even De Bruyne. De Bruyne scored 1 goal from open play this season. That is not like De Bruyne. So it just says it all. Like, he's still creating chances. He's still, obviously, we're still scoring a lot of goals now. But at the start of the season, we just weren't. And I think even now, like, Sterling hasn't been as clinical as he needs to be. But he did come on the other day, and he only played for about 15 minutes and got a goal and assist. Yeah. So he's kind of doing what he needs to do. I think he will improve as the season goes on because he's not scored too many goals. I think he's only got, even though he was one of our top scorers.
Sterling's our top scorer in the Premier right now.
Yeah, no, I think it's Gundogan now. I think he's on 7.
Oh yeah. He's on 7 now. Sorry,
he's one of the top ones. But even though he's one of our top scorers, them numbers are low for Raheem. Like, Raheem would normally be on more than Gundogan. And he'd be on probably about 10 by now. And he's not. So I think as the season goes on, I think he'll get better and better. And I can see, like, the Sterling that, you know, because he has won us titles with his goals and stuff like that. And I can see that sort of Sterling coming back. And that's why I wouldn't say that I'm confident of the title because it is very close. And like Riz says, Liverpool are not that far behind. We do have to go to Anfield where we don't win. We don't win there.
So. Now we got the 12th man there, so it's a different game now.
Yeah, I'm hoping. But trust me, I think it's a curse because, to be honest, like, we've been to Anfield before and been the much better team. That one where Mahrez missed the penalty, how we did not come out of that game with 3 points,
I have not forgiven him yet. I haven't forgiven him. I can't forgive him.
Madness.
It's gonna take a while.
That was the best we've ever played at Anfield, and we didn't win. So that's why I'm a bit like, even though I think we should be beating Liverpool this season, especially with the injuries they have, it's just something about Anfield that City just, I don't know what it is, but we'll find out this season.
The atmosphere, and it's like the confidence. Like, when anyone who goes to Anfield, they know a draw is a good result for any team. No one goes to Anfield and gets a point, and you know what I'm saying, you feel good. Yeah, that's the only ground. So realistically, it's not just us. It's just that we expect to win all our games. Our expectations higher. Most teams don't want to say it, but they go to Anfield hoping for a point.
Yeah.
That's what I don't think. Yeah, that's what it is, and it's a hard ground to go. It's going to be like that.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping we can win. A draw's not a bad result though for City.
I think at this point it would be a bad result at this point for the season because Liverpool can close the gap to 1 game in hand.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And our game in hand is Everton, which isn't easy either. So it's like, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But I think for me, what gives me a little bit of confidence with City is that we're actually, like you say, we're not at our best. So I actually think City can do better. And I think our attacking players in particular, I think will do better. Like, we're not going to have a whole season where Sterling scores under 10 goals. Like, it's not going to happen. So we'll have to see how we go on. But I think our attacking players will get better. Like, Liverpool's are starting to come back now because I know people are complaining about Salah. And then Salah's just had 2 fantastic games back to back. And he looks back to his best. So I think the same will happen for City. And hopefully we can go on. But it is early days. I'm not the sort of person, like, until it's mathematically impossible for anyone else to win it, like, I'm just like, I'm always a bit anything. These next
7 games are going to be important, like I said, because we've got 6 out of them is 6 of the top 10 out of the 7 games. We get through all those games, then it's a different conversation about favourites. But right now, that is like I saw that from the beginning when we got our fixture list. I saw that period of February to March. That's the point. Whether we become title favourites, top 4, whatever it is, that season, that part of the season was going to decide wherever we want to be. So, like I said, we're in a good position to be favourites, but we're not favourites yet.
No. And to be honest,
Also,
like we've got Chelsea late on in the season as well. We play Chelsea in May.
I'm not scared of Chelsea no more. Chelsea are different. No, I'm just being honest. I just keep it real. Chelsea, they're different. They're not the same Chelsea no more. When you look at that team, remember Chelsea, Hazard was a smokescreen for that whole club. That whole team was behind Hazard. When Hazard left, it exposed everything about that team. That team, they do not have good individual performers. They need a manager with a good system for that team to work.
Yeah.
Lampard came in and he was on vibes. He didn't know what he was doing. He's got good players there now. But I don't think there's players in Chelsea where you think we got to keep that guy out the game.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do under Tuchel because obviously he looks, so far they've looked good since he's come in. But obviously we don't know to see what kind of happens as it goes on because you never know. I do think Chelsea will turn it around a bit. I can see them finishing actually 4th. I can see that.
No way.
I hope not.
No way.
They actually do I want them or Spurs? Probably them over Spurs. Sorry, Taze, but I don't like Spurs. Yeah, but I don't know. But I'll come to you now, T. How do you think Arsenal have done, and who are your 3 standout players for Arsenal?
Well, Arsenal obviously been a bit of a sticky situation for the majority of the season. But over the last 5 or 6 games, we're turning the corner, and I'm actually seeing the way Arteta's trying to do things and whatnot. And I'm really happy with the defence of recent because I think we've had the last 6 games, we've kept 5 clean sheets. I think conceded 2 goals or something like that. So we're doing a lot better than what we were. There's still things that need to be addressed. But I would say we're on the up and there's progress. Standout performers, definitely Deno. He saved us so many times. I don't know how we still have him, if I'm honest with you. He's at this point in time, like Arsenal are, he's too good to be at Arsenal. He's too good. If I'm honest, he's saved us so many times, unbelievable. Even yesterday against United, that Fred shot at the edge of the area when he sort of volleyed it, I thought that was going in. I thought it was going in. Like I was watching it and I thought he's not getting that. And then he got fingertips and I was like, yeah, this guy's he's really levels. Another person, Saka. It's mad that Arsenal are relying on a 19-year-old to hold us up. But Saka, as Arteta was saying the other day, he is playing like he's experienced. He's playing like he's like in his prime, like 25, 26 years old. He's got no fear. He's literally and he's proper direct. He literally picks at the ball and he knows exactly what he's doing. He doesn't have to think about it. He's just gone. Before I mention the third person, I want to give a special shout out to Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
Because I would have put him in there, but he's only had 5 games in that first team, so I can't exactly say, yeah, he's that guy. But he since he come in, and he's another player, just fearless. He just seems to know what to do with the ball. Even before he gets it, he seems to know when to release it, when to hold on to it. He drives at people. He's giving us a bit of a boost. Like these young players, as I've been saying, along with Saka and also Martinelli coming in back in and whatnot, they're just giving us a boost and whatnot. And the last person, everyone I know that supports Arsenal, they hate on this guy, yeah. But me, Lacazette, he is my guy. Yeah, he's just different breed, yeah. He's just different. His hold-up play, I think there's only one person better in the league that is hold-up play in the league than Laka, and that's Giroud. I think he's the only person. The way the guy just holds on the ball and he just creates space for players. And he's actually getting the goals now that he deserves. I think he's that good.
I can't agree with you, brother. I can't agree with you on that.
That's fine. You're a Spurs fan. When you might want to talk,
it's got nothing to do with that. All I've seen is stick his bum into people.
Have you not seen that?
Kane does the same thing.
Have you not seen Firmino?
What? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to hear
For
that.
me,
I can't agree with
Firmino is
that.
different gravy to Lacazette.
Have you not seen
Lacazette's
that?
nowhere near, Lacazette's nowhere near Firmino's level. Nowhere near.
And that's coming from a
Nah, I
City fan.
disagree with that.
I rate
Firmino's not on the level. Nah, not
I
anymore.
rate Firmino, but I don't think he's like levels above Laka. I think that's a bit mad to be saying that still. I
But
can't
you
lie.
need to understand what
There's a
Firmino's
difference
doing.
between holding the ball up and actually bringing players into the game, innit? It's
He
all
does
in
both. Did you watch the game
Firmino
yesterday?
creates that
Firmino
space for
creates
Man and Salah, bro.
for his fellow teammates. All Lacazette does is get fouled on the edge of the half. Like that's not holding the ball up. Patrick Bamford, you
So
see him.
hold on, pause. Of course, he's holding the ball up. If you got the
But
ball, how's that
holding the ball up is not getting. It's bringing play. Like you, Arsenal are not a relegation team. Like
100% we're not.
you see. For instance, like back in the day, good hold up play with winning flick-ons and like bringing players that are around you into the game, not just getting fouled on the halfway line and jogging up the pitch. That's not good hold up play. That's only part of the job. Part of the other half of the job is to hold the ball up, retain possession, and then create for your other teammates, isn't it? So I can't give him the other half of that. Yes, he's good at holding the ball up and backing into players, but he doesn't distribute the ball nearly as well as some of the other players. Kane has 10 assists. Kane
is a different player to Laka. Don't get it twisted. Kane is a different player to Laka. We're not talking about Harry
Different
Kane.
class as well. Don't ever get it twisted. Different class.
Similar jobs.
Yeah, 100%. I'll never put Kane and Laka on the same thing. I'm an Arsenal fan, and as much as I hate him, I respect Kane.
Did you see Firmino on Thursday? Did you see Firmino on Thursday doing Firmino?
What game? Did you see Laka yesterday? No, I don't want to hear this.
We didn't score. What goals did he create?
Listen,
what goals did he create?
Hold your piece over there. Just stay in your section, innit? This ain't
Arsenal
your section.
Arsenal have delusions of grandeur.
Say that again.
Arsenal fans have delusions of grandeur.
We definitely don't. I definitely don't. Definitely don't.
You know what? If Arsenal had man like Ward-Prowse, yeah, all them Lacazette fouled. If you have man like Ward-Prowse, yeah, and all them hold-ups that Lacazette's doing and getting fouled, then I'll say, yeah, it makes sense. Because you man scoring from set pieces. You got a set piece bad boy, but fam, the only thing that Lacazette is doing, he's just halting the counters, fam. That's the only thing.
What's that career? That's what I'm gonna say. He's been getting.
I watch him, bro. I'm not saying he's dead, but I'm saying, bro, the hold-up play, it's not progressive.
And someone in the comments was saying about Firmino's lack of goals. He only has 2 less goals than Lacazette this season. Just putting that out.
Okay, and look where your team is. Look where my team is. That's not bad.
He's the defensive striker.
And I rate Firmino. But your team has
no. That was
for
someone in the comments. Someone in the comments was getting on to my guy Firmino, so I just wanted to address.
Yeah, I agree with the guy in the comment. I agree with him. He doesn't bring anything to the team. No assists, no goals. Salah and Mane carry your defense. Sorry, your attack.
Michael.
Mane and Salah are the attack.
It's interesting coming from the guy who has Anthony Martial as the leader of his front line. But hey.
Yeah, he's also
Can I just say, right? John Stones has the same amount of goals as Martial. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not going to deny it. Martial's no form. He's definitely not as cold.
That's what I had to say. And one of them was a penalty. That's mad.
That's a
That's mad.
Well, we have more attacking options than Liverpool and Arsenal as well. That's why we do so good, because we can rely on Rashford, Greenwood, Bruno, Cavani. We have those options. Whereas Liverpool, I don't see Origi making an impact. I don't see Shaqiri. Arsenal, I don't see. Where's Aubameyang? What's Aubameyang doing at Arsenal?
Players though.
Okay,
I don't understand where we're going.
You got all that attacking talent to do what? Bruno
to score goals.
Rashford stepping up right now. Rashford comes in, goes. Martial, what was the point of him? You lot are gassing him up all last season, 20 goals. And what's he done this season?
This season's not been good. But that's what I'm saying. We've scored goals from other outlets. Arsenal, you rely on Lacazette. You rely on him and Saka.
Okay, but we are different. As Arsenal are different level to Man United right now. And you say that, but yesterday, you know, was under the cost for how long? So if it's that much of a class difference, So how can you not expose us? We
You
had no
played well.
Saka, we had
You
no
played well.
Aubameyang.
I can't lie. You played well. But Rashford should have easily have scored. Cavani had so many chances. So
But they
I
didn't. Is my
think
point.
we created those chances. It's just that none
I
what's
got
the
to head
point?
up. It's been great being
Alright,
with
so-
you, but I got to head up.
All right.
Say no
yeah,
more.
come in. No worries.
Can I
Yeah,
go next?
whoever highlight. Go, yeah, sorry, go on, yeah.
Right. So us. I haven't checked the score recently, but last time I checked, we were losing 1-0.
Half time.
It's still 1-0 halfway.
Yeah, I predicted. I said with my whole chest online that we were going to beat Liverpool. I've had enough of this guy, innit? I think Mourinho's left us some serious words after this match. Like, I feel starting off first of all the formation, why he went with 3 centre backs against Liverpool, I don't know. We've been playing totally perfectly fine with 2. We had a bit of a stumble, then we started finding our form again. Now at this formation, what I just looked at before the match kicked off, it looked like he had Sissoko and Doxty and Davis at wing back. A front three of Son, Bergwijn and Bell. Son's been the only one scoring. I don't know. Like I said, my confidence, the way I said with confidence, finishing about 3rd in the league now, yeah, I've really had enough of this guy. He's really starting to piss me off, quite frankly. Excuse the language, but yeah, that's the best way to put it. Because I mean, there was how many of us fans, the Spurs fans, we knew, we could see from early how heavily reliant we was on Kane and Son. Even rival fans would banter us. If one of them get injured, you lot are in real trouble. We knew this. Everyone else knew this. And then obviously now one of it's actually happened. And I mean, of all the time for it to happen is January when transfer window is open. I mean, we knew it from how long ago. Right about now is what we need is a deadline day miracle. Because I mean, Vinicius, we have him. Has he given him enough of an opportunity to show whether he's good enough to fill Kane or Son's boots? I don't necessarily think so. I don't think he's had that much of a chance. So, yeah, given that said, in terms of mid-season review, how we're doing now, the fixtures I see coming up, currently losing to Brighton. I'm seeing people say our season's finished. I will not say finished. We're still in how many cups? But in terms of, title chase, forget about it. I'm a realist. Top 4, we've played half our games, definitely very, very possible. But how things are going right now, like I said, needing a deadline day miracle, he's starting to get on my nerves. And me and him, we're going to have a few words probably after this stream is over because, it's unacceptable right about now. I think he's getting a lot of things. But Aurier benched for showing some passion, for clearly not agreeing with some of the decisions made. So he drops him. I mean, as much as I here show respect to your manager, sometimes in football, I can speak for myself. A couple of people who have played with me, the passion is going to come out. T's laughing, but it's the truth. The passion's going to come out at time. Whether you put it respectfully or disrespectfully, I mean, that might vary on your mood at the time. But at the same time, it at least cares that it at least shows that you care about the club that you play for. To be totally dropped for that, and then to be playing someone who is less efficient in that position, I don't quite agree with. So yeah, I really don't know what Mourinho's doing right now. I think the ship looks like it might be sinking.
How did you feel when in November when you lot looked like one of the favourites?
Why are you asking me that after you don't know you're in the same group chat as me and you know full well how I felt?
No. You know why? Yeah, you know why? Because it seems like you don't know what Mourinho's doing now. Things have got bad, but when things were going good, did you still have complaints about Mourinho? The same manager, bro, same team.
I didn't have complaints about him, but I did highlight, like a good few other Tottenham fans, that I think there's certain areas we need to strengthen. If you look at the first show that we had, you heard me blatantly say there's a few things that we did need to strengthen. I said that from the first show. That was before things started going tits up, while things were still going decent for us. So as much as I might not have had as much reservations about the manager at the time, there was a few things that I was worried about that are now coming into fruition.
I hear you, but I just feel like Mourinho's done more good for you than bad in terms of improving your team.
You know what? Like I said, still in Europa League, in the League Cup final.
Sissoko, he was looking like a write-off before Jose came in.
Yeah. He was looking like what, sorry?
he was looking like a write-off. He was looking like, bro, you get the fuck out, get out.
Yeah. I would say that. I think he's improved some players. I mean, like I said, I can't totally complain. We're in the League Cup final against you lot. Still in FA Cup. Still in Europa League. Pardon?
You got in the FA Cup?
Everton, I believe.
You're out of the FA Cup.
Sticky.
You're out of the FA
Well,
Cup.
I mean, I think they just lost, didn't they? They lost to is it Newcastle?
Don't worry what they're doing over there.
Yeah, but listen, it's typical Spurs DNA, bruv. You ain't built to win stuff. You ain't built like that. When it gets sticky for you, man, you not ain't on it. You lot are not on it.
Well, I mean, this is one of the things that a lot of people are saying Mourinho was brought in to do, which is change our mentality. So I guess we're going to see now if that's something he's actually done. Especially like I said, when we see you lot in the League Cup final. Arsenal, I don't know why you're speaking because you lot are out of your cup. That you lot, as A said,
That's
what you
fine.
lot like Champions League, your FA Cup, you're out of. So yeah,
cool.
I don't know why. But in terms of Man City,
fine. Go on.
Obviously we'll see you lot in that regard, and yeah, we'll see if the mentality is one of the things that he's actually managed to change. We got someone here who says Mourinho out, so I guess I'm not the only one that's that's kind of questionable on his decisions right now.
Taze, quick one.
Michael Stubb says Spurs will always crumble. So
see,
again, I think that's the test of time.
I don't matter who you lot bring in. I just think you lot as a club, you're not built to win things. You lot are celebrating about a League Cup that was 13 years ago or something mad like that. You can banner Arsenal about our FA Cups, the Champions League and that, but the fact of the matter is you don't won nothing.
So let me ask you, so since you lot have got, like brushed a couple little opponents now, and to tell the truth, it was a couple little opponents, and then your first big test you had, which was against Man United, you didn't really win. Are you still confident then in terms of finishing top 4 and you're going to finish above us since you're saying this with all your chest?
No, I never said we're going to finish top 4. If you recall the last episode that I was on, I said 7th. I think you're going to finish above us.
But I'm asking you now. So are you going to finish top 4? Are you going to finish above us?
Oh no, we're not finishing top 4 above you lot. No, I don't think so. But I don't think it'll be that far off.
So then, how in God's name can you be talking to someone? How are you going to hate from outside the club if you can't get in? We're there fighting for top 4. You're saying you don't think you're going to finish top 4 yet?
Bro, when you don't start winning stuff, you can talk to Arsenal. You know, you can't talk if it won nothing.
Well, I guess that conversation then we will definitely find out by the end of the season. We'll make sure we'll have that conversation. I mean, it's going to be here. The internet's undefeated. It keeps receipts. So, like I said, I'm thinking 100%. That's what Mourinho was brought in for, and we definitely will see in that regard whether he's changed the mentality. I know I'm not stupid. I'm 32 years old, so I've heard and seen with my own eyes the mentality we supposedly have for bottling things with my own eyes. So, like I said, whether I guess it's just a test of time as to whether that will actually change.
Fair enough. Who've been your 3 standout players?
Yeah, that's without a doubt. I'd say Ndombele, Højbjerg, and Son.
All right.
Okay.
What?
Should we do
that? Yeah, that's mad.
You know what? I was torn between Kane and Son, and look, the minute Kane went off injured,
they both should have been there, both of them.
Do you know what? As a striker myself, yeah. A lot of the time, you see, when we get the glory because we score goals, a lot of the dog work that people do behind us on the pitch never gets picked up. And that's something for me. I feel, like I said, that Højbjerg there in that midfield, one of our best signings. Once Tanguy and Ndombele got ticking, that midfield, like I said, if it wasn't for that, the certain games, especially that's been sticky for us, where that little minute of individual brilliance from either of them, a wicked tackle or a lovely piece of skill, yeah, we wouldn't be in that. So it's all well and good. I could say, yeah, put both our strikers in there forwards. But at the end of the day, I feel, like I said, that comes from us first winning the ball, which Højbjerg is doing. Tanguy and Ndombele making that drive, and then obviously Fruit's come to be finishing, doing the class he finishes. So that's just my personal opinion, anyway.
But yes,
someone said Mourinho out. So who's next? Big Sam or Frank Lampard? Absolutely, Frank Lampard to take the head away from our club. Listen. No. I'm not going to say Mourinho. I'm not Mourinho out yet. I said I've had enough of him. I've said that me and him have to work.
Who comes in after Mourinho?
Be realistic.
I'm not Mourinho out yet, so I can't say who
Okay,
comes in.
no,
after
I know.
Mourinho.
But I'm saying, who comes in if he goes? Who do you think comes in?
We'll cross that bridge if we come to it. I won't say when we come to it. If we come to it, then we'll cross that bridge. But for now, I guess I have to support the manager. But I feel me and him need to have some words. You know, when a child's naughty and you have to talk to them to correct their behaviour, I feel just a few words he needs to be had with him, because right now I don't know what he's playing at. And
You man are saying Mourinho out,
Now,
you know.
Mourinho, that's what I'm saying. You ain't talking to big Jose like that. You think anyone from Spurs can tell Jose that? You're mad. You're mad. You lot, this is your best chance to win something. This manager, if you don't win nothing with him, you lot are ramped out. You're not going to get better than this as a manager.
He's a serial winner. I don't like his football, but he's a winner.
Exactly.
You lot have had, that's the ingredient that you lot are missing, because you lot had all the football touch. My man got you to Champions League final, bro. You lot broke his heart. If he didn't go PSG and win that cup, he would have been a broken man.
You said you lot broke him.
You broke that man's
You lot
heart.
did, bro.
He gave you everything he had. Bro. You lot couldn't get over that line. Jose gets over that line with or without his players, bro, because he's a winner. He's going to win a cup. If you lot don't win a cup with him, you're done out.
Yeah, I think that's a fair analysis. In all fairness, like I said, I'll stick by my club. I'll back them, but yeah, me and him gonna have to have some words. But guys, you lot have been awesome today. Apologies at home for the technical difficulties. We'll definitely try to work on that. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Jan, you got anything to say?
No, I didn't know if you wanted to do a roundup. Just a quick prediction before we go. At the next game. We'll just do our individual teams. So your fixture is against Chelsea. Your next game, I think, is against Chelsea. So what do you think the score is going to be? You're at home.
1-1.
1-1. Fair enough. Michael, you've got Southampton at Old Trafford.
Yeah, they're a tricky team, and we barely beat them away, and we're not on good form. So I'm going to go probably the same 1-1 draw at home.
Right. We play Burnley away. Hitty, what do you think it's going to be?
I think Burnley can be a bit stubborn, and I don't think our attackers are firing all cylinders. I'll say probably a rusty 2-0.
Yeah, I think with them being
probably match up the 2-0 win. Probably, I think.
Yeah, we battered them at Arsenal, but it's different when we go away. So I think it might be like 2-1. I think it'll be a close game. And finally, Arsenal. One sec. Arsenal have Wolves away. Okay, what do you reckon?
I think we're going to win that. I reckon 2-0. Wolves are not looking great right now. As I said earlier, Arsenal seem to do a lot better, and I feel like we're going to continue the clean sheets, and I reckon we'll get a 2-0 win there still.
Fair enough. Well, we'll check next week to see if we were right. Probably won't, the way the season's going. It's been a bit mad. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. Thanks to everyone that's watching. If you haven't already liked the video, subscribe to the channel. Share it about on your socials so people can watch it later. But thank you all. Next week.